You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, Marcy prepares to take a vacation, but the visiting cattle may get to stay. Also, old age footwear and tarantulas as hostess gifts. And the podcast is now available on YouTube. You know how old people all wear sneakers? Have you noticed this?
I don't really look at their feet.
Well, there's a kind of an old person where they wear sneakers, these comfortable, they're kind of the new orthopedic shoes.
Okay.
The sneaker. And to make matters worse, they camouflage them as though they're supposed to be regular shoes by making them black or tan.
I don't know. I've kind of always been a Converse All-Star person. I've been wearing them for the last, 50 years.
My point about these sneakers
Yes.
was that I've realized now that I'm on my way there.
No.
Yes, because first I went through my closet and just got rid of all the high heels that I had worn. I thought, you know what? I don't ever have to wear these shoes anymore.
I don't think I've ever worn a pair of high heels ever in my life.
Well, I used to wear high heels and high-heeled boots, and then all of the clogs, the Dansko clogs that are just sort of a recipe for breaking your ankle, those all went. And then, I don't know, by the way, why healthcare people wear those things. The clog is like the Swedish answer to fire walking. I'd be safer snowboarding than I am in Swedish clogs. So those went. Last night, I looked in my closet and I thought, holy cats, I'm halfway to having to wear those horrible sneakers everywhere.
No.
I'm not going to do it. You know, the spouses, when you do something that's foolish or risky, they kind of tut-tut at you.
Yeah. No sympathy, no empathy, no nothing.
Why are you wearing those shoes? If you're going to fall down, why are you wearing those?
And see, we have the constant shoe fight because, yes, I have a lot of shoes. I have all different color Converses. And yes, I have 2 pairs of Converse platforms for when I'm feeling short. I have every color and style of Ugg boots that I wear year round because I like soft things. And I have a couple pair of Crocs for when I want to be fancy.
That's the fancy shoe?
Yeah, those are the fancy ones because I only get the glitter sparkly ones.
I'm this close to having to walk around in like leisure sweats and oversized walking sneakers. And I'm getting very worried.
You're younger than I am.
Last night, I went into rebellion and I thought, I've got this pair of platform clogs. They have an ankle strap. They should be safe. I can wear them to a party. I was going to a party. No, I insisted that the spouse drop me off at the door and watch me while I walked in. And then I was so bummed in a way. I got to the party and I looked really cute. And then I realized that it had wood floors, was on the top floor. So I hopefully asked my hostess, is it a shoes off party? And she said, no, leave your shoes on. And I thought, oh, crapola, I'm not going to be able to stand up in 10 minutes. So I didn't. I sat down for the rest of the evening. I only got up to get food. And that was like kind of one of those calculations. This pie looks really good. On the other hand, I don't know if I can walk the 5 feet to get the pie. And then going home, I demanded that the spousal unit come and pick me up. And he did his. It's only 2 blocks. So I said, well, all right, but I'm going to hold on to you for the entire 2 blocks. And at one point, he said, you're shoving me off the sidewalk. And I said, that's because there's only a little bit of level sidewalk. So if you have to walk in the gutter or on broken glass or get smacked in the face with an evergreen tree, that's not my problem. You said you were going to hold me up. This is what it takes.
One of the advantages, and there aren't many, but one of the advantages of being vertically challenged is that with most of the things that I wear, you cannot see what shoes I have on anyway.
Oh, because we're all so much taller and it's a view straight down.
Well, my clothes hang on the ground and I step on them and trip over them, basically.
That's another thing that happens to me, even though I'm not as short as you are. Although everybody does get a mighty nice view of your cleavage.
Well, that's there.
The breastage extends far enough out that nobody
Yes.
would know what you were wearing.
Well,
Because I
I
mean, think
have
about it. If you're like 5'10", looking straight down at you, the first level of descent is the
that's
breastage,
true.
and nothing gets past that.
Well,
Nothing.
And
is
even
that a compliment?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
backhanded
Yeah.
compliment.
And the only way that anybody's going to see what you have on your feet is if you lie down and put them on a hassock.
Well, that's good because I'm wearing cowboy boots to this fancy wedding next weekend. So we're having a cow fight here.
A cow fight?
Well, it's not really a fight, but it's a cow dispute.
Huh.
So we still have the cows, right? The mamas, babies, and big pregnant mama. And we have a water trough and a salt lick for our little herd of deer that live on our property.
Mm-hmm.
And Frankie said, you know, the cows are just coming here because they like the salt lick. And I said, so? Because now the cows are kind of part of the family. I don't mind the cows anymore. We can walk up and pet them. They know us by name. They all have names. There's like 8 of them. And they've already knocked over everything that can be knocked over, at least as far as I'm concerned. The cows don't bother me. Last night, he took the trough and turned it upside down over to the salt lick, thinking that that will make the cows go away and stay away.
Uh-huh.
And I want to go out and turn that trough back to where it belongs and fill it with water so that the cows aren't thirsty and they can lick the salt along with the deer.
And you want my opinion on this?
Well, no, because he's from Chicago just like you. And I think it's a Chicago thing.
Wait.
Hates cows.
It's a Chicago thing. You're blaming the fact that I live in a metropolitan area for the fact that I don't want to walk out my front door and land in bovine excrement? Somehow
it's only 8 of them. And 3 of them are little tiny excrements because they're babies. But my husband only wants cows if they're in our freezer or on our table or on the grill.
Well, and you're not asking me.
No, I'm telling you.
Yeah, all right. Well, it's a good thing
I'm
you're
gonna start
leaving
singing
town
that,
for a while.
Jennifer. And I'm telling you,
I'm not going.
the cows aren't going.
Oh gosh.
But yes, we're in a cow battle. But we're gonna be gone for 10 days.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the cows.
Are you going to leave the trough upended over the salt lick while you're gone?
But that's a question that will be decided in a couple days.
You realize that if you demand that the trough be left filled and turned up, that just as you're leaving the driveway, Frankie will remember that he'd forgotten something.
Go back and
Whoops.
flip it
Yeah,
over.
absolutely. I would if I were him. For sure.
But I mean,
And
they've been here now for how many months?
Well, what is this like the Occupy Wall Street people? You sit in front of the Bank of America, you eventually
Squatters.
own it. Yeah, is that the deal?
They're homesteaders.
We're just gonna stay here until we own it.
homesteading cows, like little log house on the not prairie.
Occupy Marcy.
But yeah, the cows are gone. I'm sad.
Well, I'm trying to be diplomatic here. Because saying things like you're out of your mind to one of your best friends is probably not a good way to move forward with this conversation.
But like year-old cow dookie is really good fertilizer.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you step in it for a year. So the year-old cow
Like,
dookie.
no, you just look where you walk.
Oh, man. So
And
you're
I'm short to the ground, so I don't have to look that far.
never leaving your house after dark is what you're telling me? Just wait till you
no.
trip over a cow.
Yeah.
Just wait. Just wait. You'll be just sort of walking over to Evie's trailer and you won't notice that there's a cow lying there. And the next thing you know, you'll be splayed across the cow who will not be happy with your presence there. And all hell will break loose. And then
I'll
your
be riding
husband.
the cow down the road.
Right.
Woo!
That's right. And then your husband will have one of those tisk tisk moments.
Out with a BB gun.
We used the BB gun on the squirrel invasion.
Did you? Did it work?
Well, it's a bigger story. It was when we lived in Oakland, and we had just evicted several squirrels who had formed kind of a collaborative housing thing. They had a preschool inside our attic. They had a nursery.
Yeah.
They had a bowling alley, which they began using every morning at about 3 in the morning. And we finally evicted all the squirrels from our attic and closed up all of the entry gnawed away holes. And so then they gnawed some more, and then we patched some more. And then in a creative effort on their part, I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of the shingled houses of Berkeley, but the shingles are the wall. So the squirrels climbed up and they started yanking out the shingles and laughing. They pull a shingle, go ah, 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 and pull the shingle. And it happened that our contractor was still there. So the first thing he did was he made an appointment with the squirrels, who were back the next day going rip, rip, rip. And he BB gunned a few of them, so they flew right off the back of the house, which was very satisfying to watch. And then he encased our entire second floor rear of the house in chicken wire, because that was our only recourse. Because
What about a shingles vaccine?
that's a good one. Because the only thing you can do once squirrels have decided that they own you, much the same way I imagine that cows are going to decide that they own you, is to erect some sort of barrier that makes your building into an impenetrable fortress. In our case, chicken wire. Chicken wire is very useful. We had pigeons who tried to live above our porch, and they gave us like an Airbnb 4-star review for our accommodations up there. They were
Nice.
and we tried getting them out with brooms. We tried getting them out with the hose. They just kept leaving better and better reviews. This place is very neat. It gets swept every day. Lovely shower accommodations. Chicken wire is an awesome creation. I'm not sure who invented chicken wire, but I would like to thank him or her for that.
We have actually some in the house around this big plant that Eve gave to Frankie for Father's Day. It started out like a little tiny, maybe 6-inch tall.
Yeah.
And now it's taller than I am.
Yeah.
But the cats like to dig in it and bury their toys.
Chicken wire.
So, yep, it's got chicken wire all around it.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that have been around for a while that people don't properly appreciate the usefulness of them, especially if you live in a big city like Chicago, where you might not have the opportunity to encounter a lot of chicken wire.
Well, when we first moved to Flagstaff, we had a problem with woodpeckers all the time, just only on one side of the house.
Where it was
They
rotten.
would drive us nuts.
Where-
No, it was a really nice, newer house, but it was in forest, just like we are now. And they were a different kind of woodpecker than we get here, because these woodpeckers here are like trees. These woodpeckers over there like our house. We tried everything, and we wound up ordering online these giant tarantulas on a string, and you put them up on your roof, and when they sense like pecking, they start to like walk down the side of the house because woodpeckers are afraid of giant tarantulas, I guess.
I think I might be.
Well, I actually found one yesterday, and I'm going to bring it to you.
Oh, wonderful. I think that this could come in useful. So it's basically that you have the woodpecker stand your ground act, where if the woodpecker is on your house, you're allowed to do whatever you want.
Let the tarantula go. And I don't know how they sense motion, but they were like the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, I was just messing around in the workshop the other day, and I found an extra one still in packaging.
Oh,
and
good.
I thought,
I'm looking forward
what
to
should
that.
I bring Terry from house gift?
I'm glad. I think that is a useful thing. Bring me that.
I will. It might
Yes.
scare away like pigeons and all kinds of stuff.
Well,
Maybe even crazy neighbors.
oh my God, the crazy neighbor. Everybody has one. You know, the woman who spent like millions of dollars putting up copper gutters, although her house is
Yeah.
blowing away in pieces. And did I tell you that I was parking and she was halfway down the block in front of me, and she came around as I was finished parking, and she said, "I was looking for a parking place on the block for 20 minutes." And I'm like, what am I supposed to
What do
get
you
out
want
of
me
my,
to do?
What am I supposed to get out of my car, look both ways, and go, "Anybody else want this parking space?" She's a little wacky. Assuming you've come this far because you enjoy the podcast, may we recommend my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's available at your neighborhood bookstore or on Amazon. And if you're feeling especially generous, please leave the podcast a good review. Thanks.